Hey everyone, I hope you had a great spring break. I know I did. Worked at home for a week, but worked on building a barn, and that was fun. Some people think I'm crazy, but to me, sometimes working physically is actually quite relaxing, and so that's what I did all last week. Um, and but I'm ready to get back to it. Uh, as an educator, actually, more specifically as a professor at the University of Montana, lots of times people are all bummed out when they come back from spring break. For me, uh, I'm thankful to get a spring break. Not many people get those sort of things, uh, and I'm quite appreciative of that. Um, so somebody sent me an email just a little bit ago asking about the proposal, and I realize I haven't been uh, super clear on that, and the calendar is a little confusing in that regard. So just to clarify that right off the bat, here is what how I'm going to modify that. So, well, first, let me say this. We're not going to have a final exam. So the overall points in in the syllabus will reduce by 50. Actually, as I've changed this course, I used to give multiple choice quizzes, and then at the end of the course, I would put all the multiple choice quizzes into a final exam. So there's kind of a remnant of that in my syllabus that I should have taken out. So the culminating project is this research proposal. So I'm not going to do a final. So um, I don't expect anybody to be weeping over that change. But let me clarify how the proposal is going to play out. So first, the proposal is just that. You're not actually doing a study, you're doing a research proposal, and an abbreviated one at that. So I will be getting you feedback on your literature reviews. That's going to be a big chunk, not a big chunk, but it's going to be a chunk of your proposal. So I'm going to give you feedback, and then I need you to make some changes, more than likely, to that, and then you'll just take that table and put it in the proposal. That will kind of be your literature review. You'll get the opportunity, well, if you continue your graduate studies in other contexts, you'll get an opportunity to write the narrative associated with a literature review in another course, potentially. But for this course, what I'm really wanting you to do is develop these skills of finding articles and summarizing them. So you've done that. I'll give you some feedback. Make those changes. That goes into the proposal. Okay, and make sure you look at your syllabus, because I do have details about what needs to be in there. Also in the syllabus, you'll see a proposal seminar. So what I'm going to have you do in 2 weeks, so you might want to jot this down, which is April 27th, I will have you submit another presentation to your groups, okay? And that presentation should be an outline of what your proposal is going to be. So if you want to work ahead on that, you can have the presentation done and already be working on the proposal. But basically, I want you to submit the actual proposal in the last week of the semester. So the two steps are: develop a presentation, use that as an outlining process for your proposal. I will set up a forum in 2 weeks where you will share that with your group, and you all, as you have been doing, give each other feedback, make modifications. You can certainly ask me questions, and then you can finalize your proposal once you do that. So, quick summary there. No final exam. In 2 weeks, on April 27th, you will submit a presentation and then the following week you will submit your actual proposal. Okay, and that will kind of be the wrap up for the course. We do have 2 quizzes to go, so you still have some points out there, but that's largely what they are. 2 quizzes, a proposal, and the presentation. So I hope that clarifies that. Now for this week, this may give some of you the hives, this activity, but don't, I've alluded to this before, but don't let statistics freak you out. Some of you are going to be like, oh, this is going to be fun and challenging. Some of you are going to be like, oh, this is the worst thing I've ever had to look at. And others are going to be like, oh, that was easy. That was kind of a joke. I don't think there'll be many of you, but some of you are on top of your game and have clearly had statistics courses before. Of all things in educational research, I would say statistics is one of those things where people are all over the board. From people who know virtually nothing about statistics to people who maybe are math teachers who took a statistics course. It might not be much more than review, and that's a real challenge with master's programs within education, that people really are all over the board when it comes to statistics. Now here's a little spiel on statistics. I mean, they're highly important. I know early in the course I alluded to this, that the history of education, the recent history has been largely focused on qualitative research, and there are good things and bad things to that. The bad part of that is that policy has largely been established on statistics, quantitative data, and I don't feel like our field has been well prepared in basically defending ourselves. It's really important that educators, practicing educators, and those who just want to know more about education, that you are somewhat proficient in understanding data. If you think about it, most fields have statistics courses as part of their undergraduate degrees. We don't. At the University of Montana, students do not learn that much about statistics at all. They certainly do not take a statistics course. So then people get to the master's degree, and it's kind of the first time they learn much about statistics. So, and frankly, I think that's a weakness of our field. And I'm not going to pretend that you're going to learn a ton in this course or in this week and probably next week, that we're going to have some focus on statistics. But you're going to learn some, and hopefully become a little more comfortable with looking at data and doing some I guess interpretation of data is largely what you'll be doing. But I mean, this may sound crazy to some of you, but enjoy that. Cuddle up with your textbook. Read those chapters. They're good. They're clear. They're relatively basic. Cuddling up with your textbook may be a little too much. But my point is, enjoy this as a learner. Take on the challenge. If you're freaked out about it, kick its rear end. Read the chapters, study up on it, become familiar, and the activity is pretty well connected to your chapters. The biggest ideas for this week are basically descriptive statistics and inferential statistics. That's actually the titles of your 2 chapters. Read those thoroughly. Read them once, and then maybe read them again. because it's good information that we should all be aware of. So, so what you're going to see in Moodle, I have this video, of course, and then there's just going to be an activity for this week. I'm not going to say you shouldn't work with your groups. I'm not setting up a forum because I think, I think this is something you should grapple with on your own, and but that doesn't mean you can't consult with your peers. But just be sure, I feel compelled to say this more during this session of this course than any other. Do your own work. I mean, people get so focused on grades. Think about what the grade actually means for this activity. It doesn't mean a whole heck of a lot. That is not giving you a pass to not do this, because you have to do every activity in the course. And it's not an invitation to just do this in a flippant way. But as an educator, I'm encouraging you to take it on as a challenge and work through it, and do it as a learning experience, and not so much focused on, oh my goodness, what is my grade going to be. So I believe that's it for this week. I will be doing lots of grading. If there's any major issues with literature reviews, which is what I'm going to focus on, so I can get you the feedback so you can turn those around, I'll request to set up an appointment with you where we can chat on the phone, or however we need to do that. So I hope that you all are doing well, and please be in touch if you have any questions. Thank you.